Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Know Traitors over here on RHAP. I am your host, Suzanne McKeely, aka the Duke of Deception, here running the castle with the keys while the boss is away playing in the castle. But we're gonna have fun in our very own little setup we got going on here. Joining me once again is the one and only, the irreplaceable Mike Bloom. Mike, how you doing?
Am I the Lord of Lies, I suppose, by this alliterative nickname? This is a connection that I'm trying to make with you, Pooya, as the connections we talk about today.
No, you're the Maester of Menacing.
Oh, you know what?
Oh.
I'm going to get that monogrammed. I'm going to put that on my towels. Thank you, Pooya, for the many gifts you've given us, including that nickname today.
I try. And Mike, speaking of being people who receive gifts, we are two of them right here because we get to talk to this amazing person as our guest today, the one and only, the pearl pants badass himself, Brice Izyah in the building. Brice, how you doing?
I am the jester of Jolly today. Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay. I'm excited. Daddy is in Scotland and the kids are at home roaming the podcast network. It feels like summer vacation.
Yeah, this is like a different version of the movie Home Alone, where instead the parents left all the children in the house to fend off the burglars. And we've set many delightful traps today, including Brice, what we're getting into today, which is an idea of your concoction.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting to know that Robert is in Scotland. Robert! It's been 20 years. I wasn't even born when Rob was last on TV. And so for me to be able to celebrate a 21st birthday when Traitors airs, I feel like it's just the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm excited. And this cast of people that we have, I mean, for me, it's just the connections. When did the cast drop? Tuesday morning, Wednesday, Monday?
Friday.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind.
I'm at work minding my business and my ping, ping, ping. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I look and they're like, Robert. I'm like, wait, what happened? Did season 50 finally get it right? Oh, okay. No, Peacock got it right. Okay. Peacock got it right. And so then I'm just looking at the cast and then I'm just like screaming for all of these amazing people, couple randoms, but for me, it's the randoms, right? Like, I think the randoms are really going to bring the oomph to the Traitors season, because I feel like there's a lot of people that have a lot of connections and that we know of, but there's just, some people like Eric Nam that I've just recently discovered, and I think like I'm in love.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Just looking at the cast out the gate, I felt like I'm messing with the randoms this season. I feel like there's some I feel like we had Dylan Efron last season. They were like, okay, this is a random that worked. Let's see more people in this kind of who have potential in this realm. And I think that's the exact way they should have pivoted, as opposed to, all right, what British parliamentary royal can we put in here who's just not really going to be about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think for what it's worth, people have said, this is celebrity versus civilian casting. And look, we're from the reality TV sphere. A lot of these people were celebrities to us out and out in the first 3 seasons. But it does feel like this cast has particularly pivoted to being more of a share of like capital C celebrities, perhaps C-list from a manner of speaking, but like bringing in more names from a variety of worlds rather than being known from another reality show. Though you have a couple cases here where you have some people that were on a reality show and also scripted shows, or vice versa,
or game shows. There's some people on game shows.
Well, listen, I'm ready to see where everyone fits, Brice, because I've already looked at this cast, talked about it with Nicole, and I think what we both found was, okay, the people we know, we really know. We know what they're about. We know what they've done. We know what they ate for breakfast before they would get on a plane to get to Scotland. But then there's people who I'm like, I don't know you, and I also don't know how well connected you're going to be. Let me give you an example. Our first podcast we did, Brice, people were talking about Johnny Weir and Tara, and they were like, they're a pair, they're a known pair, everyone's gonna know. I was like, really, is everyone gonna know? Because I didn't know. And then I got gut checked on the podcast and I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. I didn't know. So Brice, lead the way, make us and see these connections more clearly today.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like it's the blind leading the blind, but listen, we have our ears and we have our smell, because I feel like I can smell Scotland. I think we need to go. I was having an argument with someone from Philly, and we were talking about the Traitors. So let's start with Donna Kelce, right?
Okay, there we go. Because definitely one of the most well-known for various reasons from various fandoms. I mean, even the connections to her from an audience perspective is multitudinous.
Okay, so dilemma number one. Everyone
Mhm.
keeps saying she's so well known. And I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday. Like, yes, we know Travis Kelce and the other brother, the Kelces. And then from the Kelces, it is the Swifties, right? And so I think that that's the bigger audience. But here's my question, Pooya. If on a random Saturday, you happen to be in Philadelphia and you are in line getting water ice. You know what water ice is? Or ice water. You know, some people say I'm from Philly, so it's water ice. And you're getting water ice. And Donna Kelce is in front of you with a hat
Mhm.
on. Are
Mhm.
you going, oh my God, it's Donna Kelce? Like, I don't think she's that recognizable in the sense of she is a woman of a young age, gives
Mhm.
mom vibes, but I don't think, and maybe maybe it's just me, but I don't, I think she's going to be able to slide under the radar.
And that's exactly why I think they're going to make her a traitor. Listen, here's the thing. I feel like after last season, we had Carolyn being the unknown traitor, the, oh my God, it would never be Carolyn. There's no shot. Everything you just described is and the fact that she is the mother of two Kelce boys, the voted sexiest podcasters of 2024 is what I've heard. And
Well,
also
they're just
is
waiting for the three of us to take home our award in
Okay.
2025.
I've been waiting. I'm just saying a nomination would be nice. Anyway, here's the thing. I feel like they want her to stay long term. I feel like that's why, she could end up in the turret. But to answer your original question, which was none of that, would I recognize her in like a lineup or at a queue somewhere? No, I wouldn't. I very much try not look at people when I'm in a line or in a queue, because then if I look at someone and they recognize me, I don't want to acknowledge them if I don't want to acknowledge them. I want to have the
Oh.
possibility of like, oh, I didn't see you there. So I've headphones in and I'm checked out. But even if I was paying attention, Brice, to your point, no, I would not recognize her.
I mean, but the thing is that you're not just getting water ice here. You're in a castle in Scotland where I would agree that on paper,
Right.
she looks like an older white woman. Throw a stone and you're
On
bound to hit one of
paper?
those. Yeah, but
on video.
yeah, but in this very specific setting, I think that she stands out for notable reasons. But I think
Yes.
I see your point, Brice, where like in terms of her own demeanor, she certainly has done her fair share of her own screen appearances. I know that I think she appeared in a Hallmark movie about the Kansas City Chiefs, touchdown love story or whatever it was last year. So like, she certainly has been able to pop a little bit in terms of personality. But I do think by and large, especially compared to a fair amount of the people that she'll be sharing the turret with, definitely one of the more low-key personalities.
And this doesn't happen a lot in Traitors, but I wish that she would go in and be like, I'm James Lesson's mother, a football player for the Steelers, a running back, like just a random, like, just a random mom, not Donna Kelce, because I feel like the name is going to precede her. And I feel like the connections with the Swifties are going to be, I feel like they're going to worship the ground that she walk on, because if I'm on there and I'm this close to a Taylor, like, I'm be like, what you want to eat today? You good? Like, I'm gonna be doing her hair and makeup. So I definitely agree with you though, Pooya. I really do feel like she has to be a traitor because she's unsuspecting. She's a mom. Who's gonna think that? However, I also feel like everyone that is on this cast has had to have seen season 3. And so I feel like there are a couple of targets that are going to be put on 3 particular people. 1, Donna Kelce. 2, Robert. And 3, Tiffany Mitchell. Because I feel like they, from Danielle from last season with Tiffany, people going to be like, uh-oh, that big brother person. And then Rob, just with the name Rob, I feel like they're going to think that he, there's still like PTSD from Boston Rob. But again, another random connection, because let's keep these web going. We can go, y'all want to go TV route with Donna, or you want to go music route with Donna?
I mean, both, but Mike, do you have a preference of where we start?
Well, I think let's stay on the Swiftie train because again, I do think with no disrespect to her sons, that is the connection that a lot of people have been talking about. So let's go musical right now.
Okay. And then, Taylor Swift is a huge pop star. We know that there is K-pop, right? And so Eric Nam has been in the K-pop industry for a super long time. He is a writer. He also has a brother that produces for a lot of big Korean artists. We do know that Taylor Swift is big in Asia. And so I feel like there's this huge connection. And I feel like Eric Nam, again, he is going to be that question mark. First of all, he's a heartthrob. When I discovered the cast, I started listening to some of his music when I was at work. And his last album, House on the Hill. Now they got a lot of hits on there. House on the Hill, Only for a Moment. They seem to be the fan favorites, but mine's is Don't Leave Yet. Okay, so and don't Eric after Traitors season 4, I Will Never Leave You. And so I feel like he is, in my opinion, like he's a K-pop star. Y'all know K-pop is huge. Like he's like the Justin Bieber, low key. Justin Bieber in like 2007, right? Like, so I feel like he's not that well known in
So
our
Eric Nam's
realm.
not going to piss in a mop bucket in the turret if it's taking too long in the Traitors meeting?
He might. He just might. But I feel like he is going to bring this level of swag. When you are a pop star, when you are used to people yelling, Pooya, when you get in water ice, right? Like everywhere you go, he's going to just bring this level of swagness. And I feel like his connection to music with Donna Kelce is very interesting. And so I personally am here for Eric Nam and his music. And again, I just feel like he's going to have this level of swag. My nieces love K-pop. And the one thing that I love the most about K-pop and the boy bands, they and just look at his photo right here. Like he's giving me that energy where I feel like I really like him. And I feel like Donna, he could be an unsuspecting traitor.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, certainly he is one of, I think, with no disrespect, I maybe there are random snatches of this cast who are huge K-pop fans. He honestly might be one of the least known quantities amongst the people around him. And arguably, Pooya, you could say that makes for a perfect traitor because he can, in true writer fashion, write the person that he wants to be perceived as.
Absolutely. I feel like that's also not a bad place to start the game because, we've seen a lot of solo artists on the show. And what I mean by that is people who come in with no franchise behind them. No, like, oh, there's 3 other people from my show here. And some of them go out early, but a lot of them just make it through because once you make a couple connections day one, everyone's like, I'm gonna scoop you up. And I feel like Eric seems like has enough charm to be scooped up or be looked at as someone who gets scooped up. So I could see it. Now, Brice, if I had a cork board and we had Donna's picture, Eric's picture, I'm not using the red string, which would probably be the stronger connection. I'd be using one of the lighter strings on this one. Who is you said TV for the other connection?
Mm-hmm.
Where's TV?
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna pivot to Eric, but TV, Jason Kelce was on Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? Have you ever heard of that TV show? Okay. So I want to say he hosted that show. And Ron, I'm going to mess his name up. Like the comedian. Yes, I was about to say Faust, but Ron Funches, okay?
Ron the Faust, infamous comedian.
Well, that's how you say his name in Scotland. When you're in Scotland. So he was on that show with Travis or appeared on that show. So another light connection there. However, still a connection. Still met Donna's son. Donna probably was, backstage at that point in time. She probably welcomed him. So, and he is a well-known comedian and actor. And so let's make this connection a little farther. We're going to connect this back to Rob Cester. Okay. We all know one of Rob's favorite movies was the 2005 hit The Emoji Movie, right? Okay.
2005. I think you're off by a good number of years.
Where are we going with this?
Listen. We know Rob loved that movie Emojis. You know another movie that Faust starred in?
No.
Funches.
Funches, okay, because he's funny, and it's Faust and it's Funches. It's
Yeah, they can think
Funches.
of bunches of fun. That's Ron.
And then
Bunches of
there's
fun.
Roush, who you might be
Oh,
Yeah,
thinking
I
of
think
for
you're
the
thinking of
last name.
Rob Faust.
We gonna get to him. Now listen, Ron Frouches starred in multiple. First of all, he's a main character in the movie Trolls. Okay, he's Cooper. He's the voice of Cooper. And mind you, it's like 37 Trolls movies, if you have not known. And then he's also been in a lot of other movies. He's been in some movies with Kevin Hart. But so there's a connection right there, right? Rob loves movies, emojis, the Trolls. Boom, we got the Frenches. Then we got Donna Kelce with her son Jason Kelce hosting Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? Boom, Ron right there in the middle of the pack.
Can I throw one in here? Another string for Ron Faust Funches here? Because I recently discovered this. I believe that Ron was a guest on a cooking show called Fast Foodies, hosted by one Kristen Kish.
Oh, okay.
And that's Top Chef.
And I believe that she also maybe appeared on his podcast as well at one point too. So like, there's something there. These two have some chemistry, and I think if you talk about these islands in the stream, Pooya, I think that these are two people who are relatively unmoored as they make their way to the moors of Scotland, and they could potentially be like, "Hey, I recognize you. Like, you're at least someone I could talk to. I don't know who these other people are."
Yeah, I mean, again, both of them coming with no backing, seeing each other, being like, "Oh my god. Remember that one time? Yeah. How about that one time? That was great. Anyway, the castle's wild, isn't it?" And then you just go from there. I think that's great. And I think both of them, from what I know about Ron, and then I think from Kristen, is that I think they're both very, again, easy to talk to. So it'll be very quick. Those connections are going to hit fast.
And imagine when Donna Kelce reveals who she is, Ron, there's not a world that he's not going to mention that he did a show with Jason. So like, there's another, we got a trio right there.
Yeah. I do love, though, the connection you made, Brice, because I like the idea of Rob pulling up to Ron Funches being like, "Oh, yeah, you've been in movies? I also watch movies." That's sick, man.
This feels like surface level first date of like, "Oh, you like books? I also enjoy books."
I'm just saying, y'all, you listen, when it unfolds, please somebody pin this and give me my flowers. Now, okay, so we have that connection. Now let's kind of go to the sports connection, because let's go back to our good brother, our good zaddy, Eric Nam.
Okay.
So Eric Nam in the last Winter Olympics, he served as a representative for South Korea. Now, some of y'all might say, now what the hell do singing got to do in the Winter Olympics? Well, apparently, maybe the ratings for the Winter Olympics aren't as high as the Summer Olympics. And so they reach out to known people in certain areas to help promote the Olympics. Now, I don't know if Eric was there, but at some point in time, he could have been like, "It's the winter time. Tune in to the Winter Olympics." Pop, 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 pop. Okay. And mind you, we know who was in the Winter Olympics.
That's true. That's our twosome, Pooya.
There's one.
And I believe it's our, okay, first of all, come on, Johnny. And then it's Tara, right?
Yep, Tara Lipinski.
Yep.
Boom. Eric gonna be in that first day when he get a little nervous. He gonna be like, tune into the Winter Olympics. And Tara gonna be like, wait a minute. I know that voice. Boom. Another threesome right there. Boom, 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 boom. So like, again, I'm just trying to show y'all that Eric Nam might not be the biggest household name where we are, but his web runs wide. And so also, let's take it to a little music. Eric Nam is a K-pop star. He's released, I want to say, 6 studio albums.
Oh, nice.
Do we want to know who else is in that house that in the last 3 years has released a studio album?
One of the housewives?
Okay, let's go to Candace Bassett Diller. Okay, Deep Space. Now, when we talk about housewives and music, I know we all think of dun, 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 dun. Don't be tardy for the
Oh
party.
yeah.
Oh, don't be tardy. Or say lava. Say lava. Okay, that's up. Y'all don't know the countess.
I know
Countess Luann.
I know Gone with the Wind fabulous. I'm
Okay,
Team
I'm
Kenya
going
Moore
with the
here.
wind, fabulous. Going with the wind. But mind you, first of all, the most iconic housewife to release music is Countess Luann.
Right.
Don't be all uncool. But money can't buy you class. Money can't buy you class. Elegance is learned, my friend. Okay, that's the Countess Luann. Where y'all been at anyway? So when you think of housewives and you think of music, right? You don't necessarily think of good singer. However, Candace Bassett Dillard released a studio album, Deep Space. She is, in fact, a talented singer. The album is great. And so we have a music connection. Boom, with Eric Nam and Candace. Okay. Now, let's talk about Candace because I know, Pooya, last time we did something like this, you ain't know nothing about the housewives. Candace,
Unnecessary to say that, but sure, go on.
I mean, just okay. So, what do you know about Candace?
You're telling me right now.
Well, I mean, listen,
I'm
we're
learning.
making a connection here. We have the king of RHAP, but this is the queen of RHOP, right, Brice?
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Well, I mean, relative, because any of the Real Housewives of Potomac fans know that locked up, they won't let me out. The real queen of Potomac is currently behind bars, our grand dame, Karen. So mind you, she hopefully will get out in November, so she'll be able to watch Candace. But anyway,
and maybe appear in season 5.
Yes. Okay. Shout out to the grand dame, Karen Huger, who really is in jail right now. Hopefully, you're Godspeed. But Candace was on Housewives. I think she was like season 3 to season 9. She's very, very outspoken. Okay, she can tell you off. She's a crier. Okay, she's one of these, like, let me get the corner of a napkin and cry. Candace also was in the only physical altercation in the Real Housewives of Potomac with Monique. Monique Samuel said, bah, 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 okay, and Candace was. But Candace is very outspoken, large at life. We love her. At the round table, baby, Candace is going to be reading the girls for filth. I also think that Candace, she went to Howard University. She is college graduate. She is smart. She is very in tune. She can read the room. She would be a perfect traitor, in my opinion, because she's calculated. She's witty. She's smart, and she just can be stone cold nasty. And so I love this for her. Now, mind you, obviously, when we're thinking about the Real Housewives, now we have Porsha Williams. The connection with Candace and Porsha is interesting. They both are on the leading. Well, they both were. Candace left, Porsha came back. They both are on the only black franchises that Bravo has. They both got into the only physical altercations on both of those franchises. Okay, Candace got bop bop hit. Porsha was bop bop throwing bops. Okay, Porsha is amazing. She's talented. Facts and information maybe aren't one of Porsha's strong points. Her grandfather was a leader in the civil rights movement. And so on Porsha's first season, also, okay, let's just draw it back another connection to Donna Kelce. Porsha, when she first was on Atlanta Housewives, she was married to Cordell something. He was a football player. Quarterback or something.
Cordarrelle Patterson.
Something like that. Okay, boom. Donna Kelce right up in the mix. Now, mind you, back to Porsha. She's fun. She's great. Again, her father is like Jose something. He was a leader in the civil rights movement. And on Porsha's first season, they took a tour of one of the Underground Railroad stops in Atlanta. And Porsha was famously known for saying, well, where are the train tracks? Like, how could this be a part of the Underground Railroad? Because it's above ground. Where are the train tracks?
Bedelia.
Okay, so, Porsha was asking these critical questions. And then later that season, Portia was trying to read somebody, and Portia said, I am myself 265 days of the year.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for her. I'm
Well,
also
this is going to be iconic.
I'll correct myself. Cordell. So Cordell Patterson is a bit younger, I would say, not than Portia. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Cordell Stewart is the one that she was married to, who was like a Steelers quarterback in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Okay. And so we know the Kelces, they know their football. And so, but also an even more stronger connection is that Portia and Candace were on the ultimate girls trip on Peacock.
Were they on it together?
Were they on the same season?
They were on the same season.
Oh,
it was Giselle.
Why'd you lead with that?
Well, because we got to get the Donna Kelce connection first, because that's what's more important. They were on the same season.
I love how Donna Kelce is Madam Web. Her web connects them all.
Together. Now, did Portia and Candace get along on that season? Absolutely not. They had issues. Candace's main nemesis, who happens to be one of my favorite RHAP members, is Giselle Bryant. And Portia and Giselle were close and friendly, but Candace and Portia, not so much. However, it looks like a little water under the bridge. But do you know what one thing that a lot of the housewives tend to have in common?
Jail time?
Oh, close. Okay, close. I think they all have a common hate for Michael Rappaport.
Oh, yeah.
So remember how earlier I was wearing a shirt and I stopped wearing that shirt because I realized I look very similar to the man's photo. And I was like, I'm not doing that here. You're not doing that here.
I thought you were just getting hot and bothered, Pooya.
Eric, no, I was like, I know what's coming. I cannot be here for that.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we all know, first of all, he is a avid housewife fan. So he will absolutely know Candace and Portia. He famously got into this huge feud with everybody, right? Because his takes be off. Now, we'll get back to his takes, but Kenya Moore, he was on Real Housewives or not? He wasn't.
I've seen that clip.
Yeah, where Kenya reads him for filth. Kenya and Portia arch enemies, so maybe that's
okay.
But they kind of they buried the hatchet a little bit. But Michael Rappaport, and we can say a lot about him, but I will say one positive thing. And then this is another connection, but we'll go back to it, is he was on a show on Netflix called Atypical. He was the dad of, I think it was like someone that had like he had a son that had autism, and he was like kind of figuring out the world and the space. It's a great show. Now, minus Michael Rappaport, even though he played okay role, but mind you, he's just a lot. His takes are wrong. He be doing the most. He's annoying. This is what I will say for him. I'm glad he's in the house though, right? Because I feel like he will not be able to shut up. We know he's going to have hot takes. We know he's going to be the first person in there to be like, Rob is a traitor. And I think that he is going to serve as a shield to a lot of people. I really feel like, because he can't help himself. He's going to be loud. He's going to be annoying. So I feel like he is going to be enemy number one. And so if he stays around for 1 or 2, 3 episodes, he's an easy target that I feel like we'll be able to pin on him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple directions he can go in, right? He can go in like the loud and wrong direction of a Tom Sandoval of like, no one's going to kill him because he's going to really drive people in the wrong direction. The issue with that is I don't know how many people are actually going to entertain the opinions that Michael Rappaport has, much like the public sphere. I don't know if that will carry over to the castle in Scotland. So it also might be, from a traitor's perspective, like easy first person to kill, does not put any of sus on anybody. You can't be like, who would have it out for Michael Rappaport? Because it could be everybody. And to your point, Brice, it could be, if there isn't a housewife in the turret, a good way to maybe foist some blame onto the housewives of like, oh my God, you see that clip of Michael Rappaport on Watch What Happens Live?
Right. I feel like ultimately with him, I think obviously he's a big distraction, but we've also seen more and more seasons go by. We've seen people talk about how, well, listen, I don't think you're a traitor, but you're sure as shit not a good faithful, not a faithful I can work with. And I genuinely could see him being a part of that, like a victim of that vote out as well. So I think that's also very possible. And the other side of things is, remember, the Traitors at the end of the day, yes, it's a show, it's a game, but it's also TV time on what is being touted as, and I think the numbers back it up, the most popular reality TV show in North America. So if I see this guy and I'm like, he polarizing, a lot of opinions, actor, yeah, probably gonna get a lot of camera time. I don't want that. I don't want that anywhere. I need my time, is me time. So I could also see that being something they look at for him as well.
I actually believe that Michael Rappaport and Colton Underwood were on Pooya 2 seasons of The Masked Singer, like 1 season apart or something.
Another connection. Eric Nam.
Oh, and Johnny Weir was on Masked Singer season 2.
Johnny Weir was on Masked Singer. This could be a whole Masked Singer alliance.
Oh, never before have I wanted an alliance less. Never before. Oh God, but yeah, he was the Mike Rappaport was the pickle.
Yes, he was the pickle, and I think believe Colton was like Lovebird. Fitting given his very thorny romantic background.
Yeah, Lovebird of season 11. He was.
Interesting.
He made it further than Michael Rappaport. I think Michael Rappaport went out immediately. So
it might be the same thing in Traitors.
Johnny Weir was also the first boot of season 2, so they might have those who might bond over. Hey, we both like flopped on The Masked Singer. But yeah,
and we do know Michael Rappaport is an actor. I mean, we all know we grew up on the show One Tree Hill, Laguna Beach, The Hills, The OC. Okay.
The OC.
Was he on the OC as well?
I think it was the Laguna Beach : the Real OC, I think is what Brice. I think it was the subtitle of it.
But I'm just, it's these connections of these like iconic shows. And although like One Tree Hill in my mind was bigger, but I still feel like Laguna Beach, his connection to Laguna Beach, him in the love triangle with LC and Kristen. Like, I mean, I was 6 months old at the time of it was airing, but like, who does not remember that? And so there's another random little connection. And I think Steven is going to serve as this. He gives me like I feel like he's going to give us like what Britney Spears' husband was given last season.
Sam Asghari, please. He was a pretty good player and a
legend,
great guy.
Sam Asghari, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, that's why I feel like he is going to kind of serve as this like OG, attractive, works out, fit, kind of stays out of the mess, but is like clocked in.
Okay, so you're saying this one is a thinker.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I will also say, I'll point out another connection here.
Eric Nam. Oh,
no.
Tell me. Okay.
Mark Ballas, one of his partners for one of his many Dancing with the Stars seasons, Kristen Cavallari.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted, this was, decades ago at this point. This was like season, what was it? Season 13 of Dancing with the Stars. And they're now encroaching upon like season 30. Yeah, 30, like 4 to 35. So It's been a while, but like, if Mark and Kristen stay in touch, I mean, listen, things did not end well, if I recall, between Kristen and Steve. It's supposed to be a red line.
But that, I mean, again, another connection, Dancing with the Stars. And here's the thing, why I'm so happy that they are expanding to Dancing with the Stars. I feel like the inception, and maybe this is just my perception, y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not, my perception of Dancing with the Stars is kind of like the show that you go on when like, if you're a housewife and you just got out of jail, right? Or like the end of your career has come,
right?
And like you were a legend, and you kind of like your last little hoorah. And so I always
that
feel
and
like
The Masked Singer, same energy like that.
Sort of. I feel like as of late, though, a lot, and I could do a whole entire separate thing about like the renaissance that Dancing with the Stars has undergone over the past few years. We've also seen a lot of like younger people. I mean, Mark, he comes out of retirement and wins his final season with Charli D'Amelio, who is like this massive.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's not necessarily old fogies dancing.
No.
It's like new people who haven't tasted celebrity yet, and then people who have been celebrities for a minute. Maybe it's like that.
Yeah,
because I think Masked Singer does the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And my point to that is that we don't always it's always about the actors or the celebrities. It's not really about the dancers, right? Like I remember when Lil' Kim was on it, she was with like I want to say her dancer's name was Jacob Josh. I don't know. He had the blonde hair. I follow him. I love him. Like I don't think these dancers get enough shine. So I think that it is so great that we are kind of like in the second half of the renaissance of Dancing with the Stars. And do you know who almost every Dancing with the Star in the last 5 seasons is on Dancing with the Stars? A housewife.
Oh, okay. I was very confused by the
Follow. Listen.
Really? You said, did you know every star on Dancing with the Stars?
That ain't what I said. I was singing. Okay, Eric.
There we go. Come on, Eric. Okay, yeah. They've basically made it like a requirement to have a housewife on every season. Of course, Phaedra Parks to be fair, I believe Dancing with the Stars and the Traitors have the same casting director.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I really like what Brice said because I'm somebody who Dancing with the Stars, I'm like, okay, so it's about the stars, the dancers, the partners are kind of like B tier, no one's paying attention to them. So when I see someone like Chappelle be pumped for Mark Ballas being here, I'm like, okay, what's the personality here? I'm excited to meet this person. And I'm like, okay, let's give him a chance. Let's give him the opportunity. I'm here for it.
And let's just also be clear. These dancers over the years they be in relationships. It be like drama in between them. So it's like, I see why they would cast him. And it's like, he's giving us, sometimes the dancers, they bad boys. They are very much, trying to make it to the Zaddy calendar. So again, here's another cha-cha that I will throw to y'all that Mark could potentially be a great traitor.
I love that you're highlighting Brice, like when you're saying this, and maybe it's because, you're doing the meta of like, maybe they won't pick the gamers, or whether you're just like, well, we know about these other people. Let me fill in the blanks for these, more unknown quantities. But a lot of the people you're pointing out as having traitor potential are, again, more so on the like celebrity side rather than reality TV celebrities.
Right. And again, I feel like we've seen the pattern from the last 2 seasons of like the traitors that they have picked. And I am hoping that we kind of break from that a tad bit. I also feel like what's the red line is the strong line, right?
Yeah.
Blue line is
Or maybe we should do like green line is they're going to be good together. Red line is like things aren't looking good. Like there's some animosity.
Traffic light rules.
Yellow line is like the caution, right? They're like, it's fine.
So again, yellow line with Mark in another realm that he could go. Like we said in the beginning of Dancing with the Stars, there would have some, people trying to revive their careers that had long-standing careers. And housewives. That makes me think of Lisa Rinna, right?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, she was on Dancing with the Stars. I remember back in the day, season 2.
She's on Dancing with the Stars. She was on Beverly Hills Housewife. She is no longer on there. She's got these gorgeous model daughters. Okay. Lisa Rinna is a character. The way that I am so excited for Lisa, because like Lisa is the type of person that will throw a rock, hide her hand, but then smile and be like, did you see it? And so she is just perfect. She has housewife connections. I also feel like Lisa, in my mind, is like low-key royalty. Like she was on, like, wasn't she on the daytime?
Yeah, she was on like Days of Our Lives, I think.
Right. And so again, that older career. Mind you, I feel like Robert is going to clearly know her. I also just think of like, what is Robert and Lisa Rinna's first interaction going to be? I just can't stop but thinking about like what Robert's gonna be like, hey, and Lisa Rinna's gonna be like, and your name is? Oh, I just like, she also like Lisa. I don't know why this is random, but sometimes Lisa Rinna reminds me of like Paula Abdul a little bit. Like, I don't know. I feel like they kind of like, and so again, that's like the little dancer connection. But there also is with her being, because I took notes today, y'all, and I was trying to come correct.
Yes.
Now, There also is where we at because it is okay. Now also the soap operas, right? They give us what? Like very much like Pooya, why were you in the kitchen with Jacob on Thursday? Like, you know, very what like
Jacob wishes.
like, I'm just saying they give us very like royal, like very
Mm.
like
Yeah.
what you know. And I don't know if you've ever heard, but you know there was a show called Ladies of London,
Mm-hmm.
and so that is kind of housewife inspired. And I believe our girl Caroline was
Oh.
on. So they say Housewives of Dubai, but that ain't really right. It's really Ladies of London. And then Ladies of London, she is like a well-known, like, she's like the Anna Wintour of London, right? Like
Oh.
she's like highly connected. She is a low-key assassin. She is not only a fashion entrepreneur, but she is the non she is what Paris Hilton was in 2000, just not going to jail, not all of like, you know, like she is a force to be reckoned with. And she moved to Dubai, and then they kind of sort of created the Housewives of Dubai around her. She is somebody that I feel like, throwing this out there again, a traitor. And I say this because it's like, and I don't want to be rude, but like when you think of like the Housewives franchise, Dubai is good, but it kind of is down there with like Housewives of DC. No longer. Okay. Like the Housewives of Dallas. No longer. Right. Like it's not like, and I've watched a couple of seasons. It is good, but it just never really kind of picked up steam. And guess what? Bravo kind of like shelved it for a little bit. And guess where it was exclusively only watched at?
Dubai.
Dubai.
No. Peacock.
Oh.
It was a Peacock exclusive.
I still got the point. I wrote the same thing.
I was like, because like, for me, I was born and raised in Dubai, so anything had the word Dubai in it, we were checking it out because we're like, that's us. So that was my assumption.
So it was exclusive to Peacock. So I'm just saying the casting director was like, I know somebody. And Carolyn is snarky, funny, cute, like she is with it. And so she has the housewife connections. We've got Portia, we've got Candace, we've got Lisa. But again, I am tossing her up. She would be an excellent trader.
I'm curious, Brice, when it comes to the Housewives alum, either, you know, past, present, maybe future, is there any sort of like connective tissue with people around just being on Housewives franchise? You know, is it the old school days of Survivor where it's like, all right, we're thick as thieves, or is it more so like the new days of Survivor of like, hey, I was on season 46. That's great. I was on season 3. I don't know you from a hole in the wall.
It is, oh, well, yes and no, because first of all, y'all get, this is my lore. So I'm so happy. I'm not touching my microphone. I don't want to get yelled at by
You're
Pooya,
good.
but,
You're good.
It is yes and no. So there is a collective, like we're housewives. We're going to stick together. But baby, just like we watched some old Survivor and we're like, I cannot believe they aired that. Like some of it is cringe worthy. Also in the Housewives franchise, a lot of people get dropped, picked up, dropped, picked up. And so it really is about like, are you on a current season? Are you actually a current housewife? Now they have this mantra, once a housewife, always a housewife. And that ain't true. Now, Dorinda was put on pause. Okay. So she was on Roni, and mind you, let's just also talk about Dorinda Medley. Dorinda, I am so happy that they brought Dorinda back because we did not get enough screen time of my good girl, Dorinda. Make it nice, okay? When Dorinda gets a cocktail in her, bae, don't piss Dorinda off. So I am so happy they brought Dorinda back. However, when we are talking about the arc of Housewives, she was on one of the most iconic shows, Roni, Real Housewives of New York. Dorinda would get these girls together. However, Andy put her on pause. And not only did Andy put her on pause, they actually put the whole franchise on pause.
Can't even get that in Dubai.
Yeah, Pooya was definitely not watching that. And then also, when you have franchises like Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of Potomac, who are the predominantly Black shows, right? The women of Housewives of New York, in which Dorinda was on, problematic for sure, right? Like, do we love them? This good TV. These are more like the classic Housewives, but like this, we got people like Ramona that Dorinda was on, where they would go on these vacations, and like the help at the hotel, like Ramona would treat like they're her personal servants, like wouldn't tip them, have them like, so it's like Dorinda is a part of that. Dorinda is old money, right? And so like there definitely could be some clashes between like Dorinda's perception of like what a housewife is, and between a Portia and a Candace, right?
And
So
I think also was Dorinda also on? I don't think she was on the same girls trip
she wasn't on the same
season.
girls trip, but Dorinda was on a girls trip, and baby, when I just tell y'all, Dorinda is the best, like the absolute best. And so we also have Candace, Portia, and Dorinda. They all were on girls trips, right? And at one point in time, they all were off of their housewife shows. And the only real current housewife is Portia. So Portia is for sure going to come in with that not arrogance, but I can tell you, Portia is going to let these girls know that she's a current housewife. And so,
or I was going to ask Brice, do you think this season, because we've talked a little bit about how we're worried for some of our people because of the pattern of like assigning traitors and stuff. I think last season the traitors took out the housewives very quickly, very early. Is this a cast of housewives that you see coming together, putting things aside and being like, all right, let's have each other's backs? Or do you think that can last all of 2 episodes and then they're yelling at each other at the round table? Which direction we go in here?
2 episodes. We gonna get 2 episodes. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to tell you, because we gonna get 2 episodes. I definitely think they're going. First of all, Dorinda. Oh, so sorry. Rob meeting Dorinda. Oh, I can't wait. And oh my God, if Rob pisses Dorinda off, the way that like Dorinda 2 days later is gonna come in the room and be like, when you said you like the button on my jacket, it wasn't even a button. It was a piece of tape. Okay. That wasn't even like that. Like, that's the energy Dorinda is going to give. Now, mind you, Dorinda is a leader. And I think Dorinda is the one to watch. We seen the first season. Dorinda ain't know what the hell was going on. Okay. Dolores got off the boat. Dorinda got off the boat. Then when they was accusing her of being a traitor because she got off the boat, Dorinda was like, you mean I volunteered for everybody, and you're going to accuse me of like, Dorinda ain't know what the hell was going on. And mind you, she just like that interaction that you saw of Dorinda when they was saying, girl, somebody is saying you a traitor. That is the Dorinda that we want, right? Dorinda has a better understanding now. And also Dorinda's like, Dolores won. I can do this. Dorinda is going to come. This is where the problem is going to lie. And I can tell you this right now. Dorinda is going to come in there, first of all, because she's not on pause on Traitors. Okay. She's very active. She's going to come in there. And with Candace and Portia, first of all, I don't really know how well, like, Dorinda going to think we have this housewife alliance. And Dorinda is going to be like, I was here last year. I could tell y'all. And like, I could already see Candace is going to be like, Portia's going to be like, but Dorinda is coming to play this time. And I just like, however that looks, if Candace and Portia don't want to work with her, Dorinda gonna get them out. But Dorinda is coming to play. I guarantee you. Okay. And her post-exit interview, she was talking about all the outfits that she had bought that she never got to wear. Girl, just bring the suitcase from Bluestone Manor back on in the house. Okay. Yeah. Dorinda is who we need to be watching for. Period.
Now, what's interesting is that Dorinda, like you said, appeared, albeit briefly, but still on season 3. And you would think like, okay, if there's anyone who's connected to someone from season 3, Dorinda would have an in. And I think that could be the case with Monét X Change. On paper, if you looked at that reunion, you're like, oh, Dorinda and Bob the drag queen were going at it. But if you looked at social media afterwards, like they've got nothing but respect for each other. And if anything, if you listen to Sibling Rivalry, you know that Monét was giddy at Dorinda coming for Bob's wig at that reunion.
Yes. And that is because we're going to get to Monét X Change. But that's the thing with Dorinda that people don't understand. Dorinda will cuss you out And then 2 seconds later, be like, Pooya, what you want for lunch? Pooya, I'm making a scene. Like, and then when Pooya's still mad at you, at Dorinda's going to be like, are you kidding me? So again, Dorinda, top tier. Monét exchange. Let's talk about my good sis Monét exchange. Bob, the drag queen, stole the show last year, okay? And now we have Monét exchange. Monét exchange and Bob the drag queen are best friends. They have a podcast together, like Mike said. But I just don't want people to get this confused. Y'all probably have never experienced this, but let me just tell you something that happens to gay men a lot, right? And literally it happened the other day at work. Shout out to this secretary named Linda. So I'm walking in, Linda's like, hey. Linda's like, happy Pride Month. Okay, first of all, anybody that starts off the day like that, you already know. So Linda says to me, because it's Pride Month, Linda like, Brice, I really want you to meet my nephew. So I'm just saying, anytime somebody makes that connection to think like, my nephew is gay, Brice is gay, love connection. Like, you know what I mean? And so this is what I'm saying, that I want people to be excited for Monét exchange, but I don't want you to expect what Bob the drag queen brought.
Right.
Because Monét exchange and Bob the drag queen, best friends, but they are different people. And Monét is a self-admitted reality fan. She knows the Housewives. She knows Survivor. I really do feel like Monét, and I love Bob the drag queen, but Monét is going to be a better version of Bob the drag queen, because Bob the drag queen, he let loose a little too quick. He was, Monét exchange is going to be strategic. Monét exchange is going to know who the F Rob is. Monét exchange is going to know who Jam Jam is, who Natalie is. Monét, ooh.
Well, okay. Is this where I reveal a little bit of I won't get into much. I will say that
drop the lore.
I had the opportunity to meet Monét exchange a couple of months ago, perhaps on the set of another reality show.
Okay.
And she and I had a great time. She is absolutely lovely. And to your point, Brice, she is like a killer in these social strategy games. She knows her stuff, and she absolutely lives for both the messiness and the strategy behind it. She did ask me if what publications I was representing on set. I did mention Rob has a podcast. I did loosely describe what Rob has a podcast is. So yeah, when you talk about the fact that she knows who Rob is, there's a
your fault
that might be
happening. You did this.
At some point in time, I don't know how Monét and Jeff Probst were exchanging, but Monét, Jeff, she wanted to play Survivor. Like, Monét ain't no dummy, okay? Why would I submit a casting tape? I'm with Jeff right now. Jeff, put me on, right? So again, Monét is somebody to watch. Now, what scares me, like you said, Mike, is Monét's connection to Bob the drag queen, right? Bob killed it last season. Bob was running the show. Bob just got a little powerful, right? And kind of was like, he let his wig slip a little bit. How I'm worried that everyone will have seen season 3. Everyone going in will see Monét, who, again, on the surface, their personalities to the naked eye, they'll be like, oh, same person, but no, very different. And so I'm worried that Monét, they're going to think similarly to Bob very early on, but I already know that Monét has what it takes to be an amazing faithful. I do not want Monét as a traitor. Monét would be top tier traitors. However, with the Bob drag queen, it's too obvious. So let Monét breathe. But Monét is going to give it. And I just want people to know she's going to give it in a very different way than Bob the drag queen did.
Yes. And I think also, I mean, when we talk about why would they put Rob up there because of the Boston Rob connection, I think it makes sense with Monét as well. Bob was just a traitor. I don't think the producers would necessarily want to have lightning strike twice, as fantastic as that lightning is.
Yeah. I think we see this happen every year with other shows where, for the most part, a lot of people, and I think it's a subconscious thing, they're like, oh, this happened last year, it's gonna happen again this year. Like it's like the exact same thing isn't gonna happen 2 years in a row. So no, if you're in that castle, oh, Monét X Change and Rob from Survivor are Bob the Drag Queen and Rob from Survivor. That is not how things go. That is not
Thank
how it
you.
is. But again, some people are going to look at it and be like, nope, that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's kind of the allegations they both have to beat playing this game, unfortunately.
Now, let me also just say something to the Peacock producers.
Please tell them.
Okay? I know you like the name Rob, and we are very happy that you have brought our daddy. Okay? Thank you so much. But baby, please leave that man named Rob that lives in Florida in Florida. If y'all, I'm telling you, if he's in a cage.
Oh, I thought I was gonna say I don't know where this Rob lives.
Now, but I'm just saying, leave Boston Rob at home, because you was just saying they don't do the same thing twice. You know, I'm just saying I had enough of Boston Rob. I love Boston Rob, but Nanju, Love Island, Rob Roush.
It's pronounced Funches.
Wait, I was about to. Oh, wait, I touched the mic. I'm sorry. The way I was about to say runches. Okay. Wait, because I was like, oh, wait. They was telling me this earlier. Oh, Michael Bloom, I hate you. Now, let's also talk about Rob R. Love Island. No, first of all, we know how big Love Island is. He is not as scared of controversy. He's not scared of like he's had some epic. You could just type his name on the TikTok and see some of his scenes. However, you also can type his name in the TikTok and see his TikTok. He seems so wholesome and so nice and so like I really do feel like this is Zac Efron's little cousin, Rob R. I feel like he is the one to watch. I feel like he is a heartthrob. I feel like he is not scared to stand up, make confrontations happen. But I also feel like he is going to be someone just like Robin from last season. Somebody that's like, oh, shoot. Like, they're actually a real person. They're actually cool. I think he is going to be someone to watch. And let's make a Survivor connection. I already know the second Jam Jam sees him, Jam Jam is going to want to work with him, because Jam Jam and I, we gravitate to the same type of energies. And so I already know Jam Jam is going to want to work. Well, Jam Jam going to want to work with Rob C and Rob R. Okay. So Jam Jam is going to be the glue here. Also, Jam Jam knows so much about RuPaul's Drag Race. Immediately, Jam Jam is going beelining it for Monét X Change. Jam Jam loves the Housewives. Jam Jam will absolutely know who Portia is. Jam Jam will absolutely know who Lisa Rinna is. Jam Jam has the Natalie connection from Survivor, the Rob connection. He's going to immediately make friends with Monét X Change. He's going to have the housewife. Jam Jam. Now, I keep saying Eric Nam, but and mind you, I wouldn't even be surprised if Jam Jam has an Eric Nam song on his phone. Okay, like Jam Jam is going to be, we thought we saw him flourish in Survivor. I think that he is going to flourish in this house. I do worry because Jam Jam is just so nice, so amazing, but we know that like he's just not nice and amazing. Like he can play the game, he can read the room. I think that we will see a lot of his strategy that he utilized on Survivor in this house, which makes me worried that I feel like people might see him as a traitor.
I will also go back to Rob R for a second, because I do believe that Maura Higgins not only is a former Love Island alum, but she hosted Love Island After Sun during Rob's second season last year. So she knows him, I wouldn't say intimately well, because that has a certain connotation in Love Island, but she knows his game. And I would imagine he has at least like some familiarity with hers, considering that he probably heard after the fact how much she was commentating on him throughout the season.
Season 5 and season 6 of the UK Love Island. Okay, she's another feisty one. She's another, like, first of all, I love her accent. Okay, but like she's just amazing. You can look up some of her clips. So again, another Love Island connection. Maura and Rob, and then you just think of Island connection. Then you got Rob, Maura, Rob, Natalie, Jam Jam. Now, a person that I am worried for, but I love, is Natalie Anderson.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Okay. We got our Survivor connection, and I've had like the pleasure of being friends with Natalie for close to a decade. Highs in our friendship, lows in our friendship. But like Natalie Anderson is a competitor. Natalie like why I love Natalie Anderson so much is like there's no small talk with Natalie, right? Like it's like she's from Jersey, and I feel like my Jersey people, she's like me. She's either going to love you immediately or she's going to hate you immediately. And like, so Natalie Anderson is going to be out there playing. She's strong, she's a beast. And I just worry that when you're playing that hard in the house, how other people are going to perceive that, right? Like, I feel like people are going to be like, I asked Natalie, like, what did you eat for breakfast? And Natalie's like, are you a traitor? Like, Natalie is like direct. But I love that she is out there because Natalie, we've seen from her seasons, she's loyal. She's a girl's girl, right? She's athletic. She's fit. So we have the Love Island girlies. We have the Housewife girlies. I think Natalie might tend to connect with a Candace more than a Portia. So I just like, also just Natalie, and I don't want to predict anything, but can you imagine if Natalie and Dorinda got into an argument? Like, like that's TV gold. Okay?
There might be a new planet born from that supernova.
And Natalie hasn't been on our TV screens in a while. And so like she's evolved. She's super fit. I saw like on Reddit, people were like, Natalie Anderson is jacked. I'm like, where have you been for the last 8 years? Natalie has been jacked, but Natalie is not dumb. Now, I said Tiffany. I think Tiffany from Big Brother and Natalie, I think, they're going to be great together. And I, first of all, from the cookout to the Challenge USA, like we know Tiffany is not one to play with, right? Tiffany is smart. Tiffany will cut somebody out. Tiffany got these one-liners, which is why I see like this connection. I just see Tiffany and Natalie gravitating towards each other. I'm worried for Tiffany because last season we had Danielle, and Danielle was, our breakout star. But I'm worried again, like with Bob the Drag Queen and Monét, people are going to see, okay, Black woman from Big Brother,
right?
Big personalities, not scared to speak their mind. They're going to automatically think the same thing. But like Tiffany and Danielle, very similar, but Tiffany Mitchell ain't one to be played with. And so I think that Tiffany will be a great traitor. I don't want Tiffany as a traitor though, but I will take Natalie as a traitor because I think it would be a little less assuming.
Yeah, I think Pooya, you and I will do a larger breakdown of this cast again in a couple days. But I do feel like with Tiffany, I could very much see her take on the mindset, the big brain ideology that had her planning out the rest of her entire season by being like, I've got it all figured out. I know who the traitors are. So really step forward as like the most vocal of the faithful if she's not being made a traitor.
And in the event that she does that, let us hope that she is there to reap the rewards of it at the very end this time around. Because my God, I think I agree with everything Brice said here. I also think if you said, please, you have to tell me there is going to be a traitor from Survivor. Who is the traitor? I would also go Natalie. Of the three that we have, I think Natalie's the more likely one. If they had to go for a Big Brother one, I think it is Tiffany. But also to what you just said, Brice, I don't think they're going to repeat last year. Like, we're not just trying to do the exact same makeup in the turret. That would be ridiculous. So
agreed. And Tiffany, if you remember from the Challenge USA, she's big on big number alliances. We've seen the cookout. So I think Tiffany will be the one to be like, Ian, we with the Survivor people, we're to get, like, I really do feel like Tiffany will want something like that. Then we got Ian.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Ian. He look a little different from when I remember him from Big Brother. But we love Ian, but Ian was smart. Ian ain't play no game. He was robbed, okay? Robbed from, what's my girl? What do I call her? Coco.
Yes, Nicole.
No, okay. He was robbed. And mind you, at that point in time, he said that he was done with, reality TV. So I guess like, Peacock made him an offer he couldn't return. And so I also think that he will be somebody that is interesting. And I will push back on you a little bit, Pooya. If we had to have a big brother person, I think Ian might be, again, just thinking of the last season, I think Ian might be a good option to put in because he's very strategic. He's very smart. He's likable. He's low key. We know him and Rob C have a connection. So I feel like Ian is another one that is in this very unassuming and good position.
I do want to talk about Rob here as we start finishing things up about the Zaddy, because I think there's also been some questions, certainly since he's been announced, especially with the CBS reality people, as like, okay, is he good with them? Is there any animosity? Is this another Emoji Movie situation? To your point, Brice. And so from what I recall, if I go from the order of like strongest relationship to weakest, I would say strongest is Ian. We talked about this, Pooya, during the big kickoff podcast that we did, that Ian used to be a weekly staple on Big Brother recaps, and it was not necessarily a falling out, more so it's just like Ian kind of divesting himself from the community. Ian was a part of Reality Game Masters. Like Rob and Ian would be very familiar with each other. Rob has had Jam on very recently on his podcast. He's come to his events. They've gone to CBS events together. They're incredibly friendly. Rob has had Natalie Anderson on a couple times as well, whether it be Exit Press or, she doesn't do a lot of Survivor recasts, but she has done a couple podcasts with him. And again, everything seems pretty amiable. And even Tiffany, like, again, she has her own thing going on in terms of her own podcast. So there's not a lot of crossover between the two. But I do feel like, especially from that perspective, there's a lot of like mutual understanding between each other. So I do think if you're worried about like, oh no, will the other CBS gamers come for Rob? Is there an axe to grind against him? I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I really don't think that's the case, just given the background we have of these people on the podcast proper.
Yeah. And I think that, again, to bring up last season, we saw the CBS people cannibalize early with Boston Rob, pushing a bunch of them out from the turret into the ether. I think they're going to realize, let's keep each other for now, because the result is bad. Like, even if you want to make the argument of, like 3 of them made it to the end. Yeah, all 3 of them also got clipped by the end because there were no traitors amongst the ones they got rid of. So I feel like even if there is 1 or 2 traitors among them, you're probably going to want to keep the big group together as long as you can. Obviously, as long as your name isn't mentioned. So I think they're going to gel well, these 5. Whether they work together tightly as an alliance or not, I think they're going to all be on the same level to a degree.
I don't know if I think the same way. Specifically for the Survivor realm. And I'm just saying, like, first of all, I could see Natalie Anderson cannibalizing on Rob quick. I just could, I could see it. But what I love about the Survivor connections that they have are like, they're not as strong as like in previous connections, like a Jeremy and a Tony. They were on Winners at War together, right? Like they had these like, Rob was on, then Natalie, then Jam. And so like I could just see like the survivors being like, I want to be the only survivor. And so like again, I'm giving it 2 episodes before something maybe possibly happens. But I do feel like who will crack the whip is a Tiffany Mitchell. I feel like Tiffany Mitchell will be like, stop playing. We need for you to vote in the round table. So I feel like Tiffany is going to be getting them together. I just am so excited to see how Rob will be out there. Also, the One Tree Hill, what was that guy name?
Stephen Coletti.
Heidi and Spencer was on Laguna Beach. Robin's connection to Spencer. Spencer used to be a regular. So again, there's another little random connection. And I'm sure Spencer probably had a falling out with Ryan Coletti because Spencer had fallen out with everybody. So there just might be another end. But for me, I can't wait for Rob's confessionals. For me, it's just like, I cannot wait until Rob gets in that room and tells us how he is really feeling about what is going on, how confused he's going to be. When I say That's my daddy. Okay. Zaddy is going to be up in there. I can't wait to see him on these physical challenges. I can't wait to I can't wait for the Rob moment that someone says something to Rob and Rob, like, he don't know what to say. So he got to and think about something real quick. Like, I cannot wait to see Roberts up in this house. Oh my God.
Couldn't have said it better ourselves. Brice, thank you so much for this. You took us through the web from, Donna Kelce being the overlord of it all to the Natalie Jam Survivor the board game trading card mutuals. This was a great way to look over the cast and ending on such a beautiful, sweet note with the one, the only Rob Cesternino. Anything else you'd like to say? Anything you'd like to plug for the listeners out there, as we are in the midst of so many random things happening in the world of reality TV?
A lot is happening. I just want to say that Zaddy might be away in the castle, but we are working hard over here in Philadelphia, getting ready to come out with our 2026 Zaddy calendar. So stay tuned. And it's the summertime, and Brooke, Cam High, and I are doing a summer rewatch of Amazing Race Season 15 every Wednesday. So come back and watch Season 15 with us. Oh, and the last thing that I do want to just say real quick, because it seemed like the Peacock producers, you getting Dancing with the Stars, you getting One Tree Hill, you getting Eric Nam, you getting People's Mom.
Eric Nam and People's Moms. That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah, Eric Nam and People's Mom. You getting Big Brother, you getting Survivor. As I'm doing my summer rewatch of Amazing Race, I think the Peacock producers are missing out on some Amazing Race gold, i.e. Colin. Okay. And I want season 5, Colin. And of course, Miss Brooke Cam High from season 29. Like, I just feel like Peacock producers, y'all need to start taking a look at Amazing Race, because
to be fair, Natalie Anderson's OG season was Amazing Race.
That is true. Shout out Natalie Anderson. Okay,
yeah, that got to be your next season to watch. Season 21 is like, I think Samuel Desor is maybe like peak Natalie Anderson, but shortly, slightly down on the elevation. Only slightly is Amazing Race 21.
Come on, Natalie. Not this Natalie third show, okay? She's coming for blood versus water. But yeah, no. Thank y'all so much for having me. This was so much fun. I like you. They said Pooya. I said yes, sir. Please. Okay.
As are we all. So yeah, Pooya, I know that, again, as we announced before, you and I are going to be doing a little bit of a detailed cast breakdown in just a couple days. But if people want to get a fix of a couple of people's particular thoughts on the cast, how can they do so?
They can go over to robswebsite.com/patron and become a patron, because I had the pleasure of talking to Nicole Cesternino one-on-one and got her thoughts on the whole cast, what she thinks, she thinks it would react to Rob, how Rob would react to them. We talked a little bit about some of the fits. We can never do what Brice does with This A Look, which we will do in the future. But we did talk a little bit about all the stuff going on and what we thought was good, what we thought wasn't good, as far as, like, again, connections to Rob. So check that out. That was a very fun pod. And one other Traitors podcast that is also coming your way this week is myself and Annabelle from Traitors Australia are going to be sitting down and giving you a guide. If you're brand new to Traitors and you do not know where to begin, we got you. If you have limited time, you can only watch like 3 seasons, we got you. So we're going to give you a bit of a comprehensive list of what to look for, what seasons you can prioritize more over others, and so on. And then check me out on Liana over on the Pooya and Liana Lounge every week. We have a good time there.
Yeah, and the one thing that I will plug is that we have commenced the Survivor 48 postseason, which I'm stepping in for in Rob's stead. Those should be coming imminently with our first guest, Shaheen. I also am doing the top 25 moments in Survivor history countdown. Brandon Donlan's doing the Survivor 50 files. Again, to Brice's point, the buffet is full at this point. The chef might be out right now, but we have everything stacked to 9. So pile up all the content going on here on Rob Has a Podcast and We Know Reality TV, as we're going to keep on going with this. We're going to keep on celebrating this cast and the fact that Rob is on it. And soon enough, we'll be doing more cast breakdowns, and I'm sure plenty of other stuff in the interim. Thank you all so much for listening. Let us know your perspectives. Are there any other connections that we possibly missed out on, be they red, yellow, or green lines? Let us know in the comments. We are always so happy to have you on, Brice. This has been such an absolute pleasure and a joy, the gesture of joy.
Yes,
You have
thank
succeeded
you.
in your job for today. So thank you all, as always, so much for listening. Until next time, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.